Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy JSturdyTV and or Jordan, and if you're special, you just call me Yung Sweye, man. What's going on today? Today we got ourselves a little special one. But before we get started, please be sure to drop a like, comment down below what your favorite part of the video is, and as well as be sure to click that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that way you never miss a video upload. Without further ado, let's get right into today's topic. So, yes, we are bringing back the legendary Sturdy stories, and we are starting off with a banger today. Before we get kind of into it, I'm going to take a little toke. Hopefully you guys are chilling, toking along, having a nice time, while we enjoy these festivities that we're about to have. Cheers, my friends. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the time that I watched my friend almost overdose on a mystery drug. It was not necessarily a scary or fun experience. It was actually quite scary, and it's just one of those things that I kind of felt like, as much as it is a decently entertaining story, is as much as I feel like certain situations like this need to kind of be brought to light for different reasons. Specifically this reason, just to, you never know what your friend's going through. You never know when the end is the end, so it's always good to tell the right person at the right time, if that makes sense. Anywho, so it was a normal day, and my friend Parker hit me up. And Parker was an individual that was very, very much into drugs. He loved his drugs. Any drug of choice wasn't necessarily a concern as long as it got him high. I would say the only thing he really didn't dabble with, to his knowledge, is meth. You know what I mean? Meth and heroin. But with that being said, he was a huge fan of LSD. Loved himself some acid. So we're hanging out after he calls me, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm thinking about candy flipping tonight. If you guys aren't familiar with candy flipping, that's whenever I'm pretty sure you take Molly first and then you take LSD or something like that. It's one of those two things, right?" And I was like, "All right, bro." And I was his designated trip sitter, so I was always down to ride with him. I was always, his designated driver. That was his favorite thing to do while tripping, was just driving around, enjoying the scenery. I would imagine he was seeing some pretty crazy colors and crazy things. So, just listening to music and vibe out, and we would vibe out through the night. Keep in mind, this was about 2018, so I was about 18 whenever all of this was going on. It's about 7 years ago, and we're driving, we're having a good time, and we eventually get to the plug's house, to where Parker has to now go get his candy, his goodness, right? And so he's at the plugs, and he's in there for quite a while. I'm talking about a good maybe 30 minutes. And he comes out, and he shows the whole gang what he got from the plug. We were with two other of my friends as well. They're not really too primarily important, so we won't give them names at this moment of time. However, he shares with the class, and he pulls out two baggies. One baggie had this powdery, pinkish, whitish, yellowish substance in it. I don't know, it was a mix of a bunch of different colors. And then one baggie consisted of like a kind of darkish brown yellow rock. And he basically held up the bag with powder, and he said, "This is the one that we need to do." And I was like, "Okay, what's the rock for?" He goes, "Well, the plug wants us to kind of pass it around town, kind of put everybody on type thing." And I was like, "Okay, I guess. Let's see what happens." So Parker grabs the powder, and he starts doing what he needs to do, passes it around to the other two gentlemen in the back of the car, and we begin our night. We begin our day. We're just driving the night away, listening to some music, and just honestly letting time be time and letting it slip away from ourselves. Nonetheless, here we are. We're about approaching probably about midnight at this point. You know what I mean? We're already way past the point of fucked up. Parker offered me some weed to drive him around. So, I was stoned out my fucking ass. I was stony baloney. We were all stoned. We're all having a good time. And about 10 p.m. rolls around. You know what I mean? And Parker wanted to go to the specific location that was about 30 minutes away. So we go. We're chilling there. And we hang out. Kind of look at some sights and whatnot. It was like kind of like a mountain kind of view type thing. And after we're done, we're leaving. And this is where things kind of escalate and get a little tricky. So as we're leaving, we're in a neighborhood where comparatively to the neighborhood where we're from, this neighborhood was riddled with police. Just riddled with police. I mean, they had nothing better to do, especially after 10 p.m. They have nothing better to do but to make their salaries giving people random tickets. But the roads were clear, almost as if it was the pandemic. And I was slightly speeding, maybe going about 5-10 miles per hour over the speed limit. And the only reason why I was doing so is because I was merging on the highway, right? Consciously, especially looking back, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do anything illegal while riding so dirty, but, things happen for a reason. God was definitely with me this day. So I get pulled over, right? He pulls me over on the highway. He starts following me from before the feeder. I get on the feeder. As soon as I pull on the highway, I'm getting lit up. And I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, fuck, bro. I'm like, just thinking to myself, I'm thinking about everything that we have in the car. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm fucked. If you guys aren't familiar, or if this is maybe different in your state, the state law in Texas is basically whoever is driving is pretty much responsible for whatever is in the vehicle. And so I was like, fuck, dude, I'm screwed. So, I don't know. I need you guys to really think about this for a second. I don't know exactly how long it was, but think about how fast it takes a police officer from the moment he fully stops over a car to actually get to the window. Give or take a couple minutes, depending on the severity of traffic. But keep in mind, there's little to no traffic because it's the middle of the night. So this officer was up at the window in a jiffy. And before he could even say license and registration, or let me rephrase that, before I could even respond where my license and registration was, he goes, "What's wrong with your friend?" My friend in question was Parker, who was in the passenger seat. I pan over to him, and his eyes, I mean, dude, I've never seen anything like it. His eyes, his pupils were as dilated as his eyes. His pupils were as big as his eyeballs. I shit you not. It didn't even look like he had eyeballs. My man's was a straight toad. Fried. And I was like, no. And I looked at the spot where he had put the rock, because the rock was in the cup holder. And I always kept visual inventory of where something was, especially if it was illegal. You never know. And there was nothing there. There was no rock, there was no bag. It's like, fuck, dude. And I look over at Parker again, and I'm like, there's no way. Parker swallowed the fucking rock. No bullshit. Just swallowed the whole thing in a matter of seconds. I don't know if he did that to save us from going to jail. I don't know if he did that to hide whatever the case was, but he did it. And they're like, your friend is in serious need of medical attention, so we're going to call an ambulance right now. While the ambulance is on the way here, we're going to search the vehicle. So they search the vehicle. They end up finding nothing. Thank God. Even though there was way more things in that car. And I'm as the police are searching the vehicle, I'm calling my dad. I told my dad everything. Told him, like, hey man, I'm about to go to jail. This is what happened. This is what we had in the car. I don't know what to do. And my dad's just like, calm down. He's praying for me. He's letting me know about all the bail bonds people. You know what I mean? Saying to call the bail people as soon as you can. Take down a couple numbers, etc., etc. And this whole time I'm face down, crying, and just like, fuck, dude, I fucked up my life. And then I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was the police officer. He goes, hey man, I don't know how to tell you this, but your friend denied all the hospital treatment, or all the treatment on the way to the hospital. We need you to get to the hospital stat because we can't get a hold of his parents. If you don't get there and make sure that he gets the attention that he needs, your friend is going to die. I was like, fuck, dude. So then I called my roommate at the time, who was older. He was like in his 20s. He was like 24. I call him. I go, hey, bro, like, I need your help. This is what happened. Like, what do we do? And he was like, bro, come pick me up and we'll go make sure he's right. All right, cool. So I go pick up my roommate, and then we pick up Parker at the hospital. He's fighting with all the nurses. Still to this day, I don't know if that's because of the drugs or if he did that shit on purpose so that way he didn't get in trouble. But regardless of the fact, he was denying everything, all the IVs, all medications. He was denying any sort of anything, just everything. And so we had to grab him, physically grab him, put him into the car, and take him to a different hospital. And I admitted him to the hospital myself, and I said, hey, this is what happened. He swallowed a mystery drug. I don't know exactly how much he swallowed or what it was. Pretty sure it was meth. He needs medical attention ASAP. I have videos on my Snapchat to this day of this man tweaking that I had to show his parents the very next day. It was the most awkward thing. But the very best thing that I did was stayed with him throughout the whole duration of him coming down at the hospital and made sure that he got home safely. He stayed the night with me. I called his parents that morning, about 7 in the morning, told them where he was at and what was going on, and they came and picked him up about an hour later. After that, he went to rehab. As far as I'm concerned, he's clean. I haven't really heard much from him since then, but, you know, he was clean since the last time I spoke to him. But scary situation nonetheless. And this isn't, the first roller coaster that I've had with somebody almost close to overdosing and stuff like that. There's certain signs that you got to watch for, especially if you're a young adult, man. Just starting to get into the party scene. Please be careful what your friends are doing. Be conscientious of what your friends are doing, because you never know whenever you can lose somebody. And yeah, man, it was a crazy night, to say the least. A crazy night, a really crazy experience, and something that I don't think I'll ever forget. I genuinely was scared for my life, didn't know what to do. Had I not been in the hospital with other people, hell, other professionals, I would have lost my fucking marbles. But again, that wasn't the first roller coaster we've had to take somebody to the hospital. Some more videos and stories to come very, very soon. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, morning, wherever you're watching this from. Comment down below what you thought was the most interesting part or the craziest part, and leave a topic down below of what you would like me to say a story about next. That being said, it's been your boy JSturdy, and we are outie. Peace out, Girl Scouts. See you in the next one.